Hey everyone, this is Bradley Benner with Lead Gadget in the ATM, and tonight is September 17th, 2015. This is the training and Q&A webinar. Just have some stuff I want to go over after the local case studies, just kind of some updates. We're going to be moving on to some other projects beginning next week. So tonight will be kind of like just a little bit of overview, answer some questions, and then we're going to move on to some of the new Ring partners. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Ring partner sites. We're going to build some of those out over the course of the next week, and we'll be talking about that as part of the case study. And then we'll give some, obviously, some brief updates concerning what we have done for the last few weeks over the next couple weeks as well. But we're going to be focusing more on some other projects for the next couple weeks. So I see that Michael Dawes is here. He has some questions already that looks like were posted twice. Well, Michael, I'm only going to answer it once, buddy. So you can post it twice, but I'm only going to answer it once. Let me grab the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing, and then we'll jump right into a couple things. Guys, if you have any questions, post them. Looks like it's just Ganty and Michael here. What's up, guys? Ganty, good to see you, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. Michael says, I've noticed a new list building tool in the ATM for building local sites. Please review the use of this. I hadn't seen that yet, so I will have to take a look. Hopefully you guys are seeing my screen. Let me check. Yeah, it looks like you are. List building tool for building local sites. Please review the use of this. Sounds exciting. Generate geographical lists by radius. Where is that? It would have to be in the content section, right? Or is it in the actual create new list by radius? That's interesting. Let's try this. Let's try 22701. That's where I'm at. Radius distance, let's do 25. We'll click. That's kind of cool. So that builds out your pack list for you. Well, that's really neat. I didn't know that. I've not really been much in touch with Dawn or Brian in the last couple of weeks because I've had another dozen other projects I'm working on, but this is really cool. That's really cool. So, Michael, there's your answer. Just go in, select your location. It looks like it's only available in the United States right now. Put in your postal code, type in the radius distance, hit find locations, and there your short codes are already built out. And I'm quite sure that they're all lined up properly. It even gives you your pack list name and everything. That's insane. That's really cool. So that's a great update. That's going to make stuff even so much faster, guys. You know, that's what's insane about this. The evolution of the ATM has come so far since when we first started with it back in August of last year. That's when I first got associated with it, was way back in August of last year. So it's been about, well, just over a year, really. And this is really cool because this, that's something that it takes a lot of manual work is setting up the custom list. Now, I've been working off of a short code master list, as we all have. And even though that did make it a hell of a lot more convenient because you could just use filters and Excel and things like that, still, this makes it even better. So that's really cool. I'm going to have to play with that as part of the new Ring Central sites that we're going to be building out. I'll use this for sure. So that's a great new feature. Thanks for pointing that out, Michael. I might have missed that. All right, so let's just go over a couple updates, I suppose. Now, we've got a couple sites I want to show you. Now, I told you guys I built out several different tree server sites, one of which was kind of a test, and we did like 29,000 posts in one county. And that site is performing really poorly. And it might just be because it's overkill. Again, it was completely a test. I was hoping to see some good results, although it is still rather young. Sometimes these sites, after they just sit around for a while, they'll start performing well without doing any additional work. And so that's my hope. So I'm going to leave it, leave it live and see if it starts to perform any better over the next, several weeks. I'm not going to delete the site. There's no need to, but it's performing very poorly. This is not it, by the way. Let me show you the one that I'm talking about specifically. That was this one. Okay, so if we go to, this is the one that I built out that was all around one county. And you can see that the impressions are low still, that it's not getting any click-through rate, which I really didn't care about that. This one was specifically being built for backlinks, really. But I was hoping to see that the site itself would actually start to rank for some keyword phrases, since there was basically 29,000 posts covering 401 keywords across every city plus zip code in a county. So it ended up being a rather robust site for just a small for just a county, which I thought was pretty insane. It was the first time I'd done that, and I was hoping to see it rank better. Again, it's still a new site, so it may do better. But you can see my best ranking position is 22.5 on average. So that's rather poor. But again, it was just a test. It's still a young site. Give it a few more weeks. It may do better. It may not. It may never do well. So I mean, that's just the chance we take with these sites. So. But this was it. And the next one I wanted to show you was a couple of the sites that I had built that were on XYZ domains that aren't actually doing too bad. They're not doing great, but these sites are only about a week older than the one that I just showed you, which was part of that test or experiment, the local case study feeder site experiment that I did. These are only about a week older. And these were on .xyz domains. These are both statewide sites. So I did maryland.treepros.xyz and then maryland.arborist.xyz. And you can see that these aren't, I mean, they're not doing bad for being young sites. This is, I got 25 clicks in the last 30 days from this one site. So that's not too bad. It's almost a click per day, right? And then this one, I got 13 clicks, which isn't as good, but it's still, one click every other day. That's not too bad. And again, these are both very, very young sites. So this one, you can see I've got just a few that are actually ranked on page 1 on average. And this one, I've got a few ranked on page 1. So I'm assuming, as a matter of fact, we can find out where the clicks were coming from. No, it's not going to show it. If we go over to pages, it may show it. Yeah, here we go. So what I like about Webmaster Tools or Search Console now, guys, is that by, you can see how well your site's doing. You can find out what your average positions are. If you go over and click on pages, I like this because pages will tell you where your clicks are coming from. So that's where for sure where you're you're basically getting clicks from, most likely. So if I sort by position, you'll see that some of my tag pages are ranking quite well. Look at this. See that? So some of my tag pages, I got, look, what is that? 25, 30 pages that are ranked number 1. And those are my tag pages. So see, it does pay to have tag pages indexed. Remember, on one of my sites I did as an experiment, I set the tags to no index. And I actually didn't even look at that site to see how well that was doing. I'd have to log into another Search Console dashboard. So I'm not gonna do that right now. But that was the first site that I built out, was on virginia.tricksoft.com, I believe. And I have not checked on that one. This is just one that I wanted to point out because it's doing rather well. So curious, but this one, let's just say Tree Cutter, Snow Hill, Maryland. Let's go take a look at that and see if it is indeed ranked. There it is, right there. Look at that. I got 3 on page 1 for that. So obviously, it's probably not a keyword that gets a lot of traffic, but still, if there's, I'm number 1, number 2, number 3 for that particular keyword, Tree Cutter, Snow Hill, Maryland. It's interesting, right? So that's what I'm saying. By sorting by pages, you can actually sort by position, and where the clicks are. If I sort by clicks, you'll see that like Tree Trimmers, Potomac, Maryland, got 2 clicks on that. That, of course, may have actually been me. That's interesting because that it looks like it's in position 20, roughly 25. So for it to get 2 clicks is kind of interesting. It might have been just one of us, me clicking on it when I was doing research or whatever. But I just wanted to point this out, how you can use Search Console. A lot of people say, well, how do you track rankings? Well, this is how I do it right here. You can use rank trackers, guys, but when you're tracking a bunch of keywords and a bunch of pages, it can get quite expensive. It absolutely, like, ridiculously expensive. So that's why I like to use this tool, because it gives me all the data that I need. So for example, I just clicked on pages for this one. We'll sort by position, and once again, look at this. Got several of them here on page, in position number 1. And once again, they're tag pages. And then look at all these in number 2. So a lot of different tag pages again. So we got actually quite a few that are ranking quite well. And so not too bad. So anyways, again, I was just going to I want to kind of point these out a little bit to show you guys what, what's going on with these. These are rather new types of builds for me, because I usually do the national stuff, and that's, like I said, these were kind of my first cracks at local builds with the ATM. I'm not really impressed with the results, although I'm not mad at them. I think that these 2 sites are actually producing traffic roughly what 45 45, almost 50 clicks for the last 30 days. That's not too bad. You know, get a job or two out of that, then that's totally worth it. So, but we're going to, like I said, move on to the next couple weeks. We're going to talk about some of these Ring Central. Let's go back. Well, here we go. This is it. The Ring Partner pages. We're going to build out a few sites here. And I'll probably continue with the local aspect instead of doing national sites, just because I want to keep working on and trying to refine the local site builds to get them to work, especially because I do a lot of local stuff anyways. Traditional site builds, not ATM site builds. But I want to see about building out a few of these Ring Partner sites based on more local levels, like state levels, or even, you know, just maybe a certain region that, you know, I'm familiar with or something like that. So not sure which ones I'm going to pick yet. I think I'm going to try the walk-in bathtubs. I think that would probably be relatively easily compared to some of them, some of the other ones in here. So that might be the one I try on. So anyways, let's go check on questions and we'll move on. Okay, Bradley, I know Don and Brian have done the site building using the new ATM. Will we see you version of it? I know each of you do it differently. Would love to see you do a full build using the new ATM if possible. Is there another version of the ATM coming out? Is that what you're telling me? Am I left in the dark on this? Is there something other than this? Or are you talking about doing a full site build in here? Because if you're asking about that, Ganti, I already did one. It's already in the, here, I'll go grab the playlist URL for you right now, as a matter of fact, and I'll post it on the events page for you. The local feeder site experiment. And I built the whole site out right here. And so you can see it here. Unless you're talking about another version of the ATM, I doubt it, because I'm sure I would have been told of that if that's the case. That would be silly if I hadn't heard of it. So I think, Ganti, you weren't around the last couple of weeks, but yeah, I did a full build out of this local feeder site, which is what I was just showing here. Very interesting, but let's see, that's the overlay. That's not what I was looking at. Give me a second. md.tssrm. All right, so that's this one, Ganti. This site is all about Montgomery County tree services. There was a total of 401 keywords that I wanted to target, and then I targeted every city within this county, as well as each zip code. And I think it came out to be like 73 rows in the Excel spreadsheet when it included the zip codes. So that covered every city plus every zip code within a specific county in Maryland, which is Montgomery County. So it ended up being 73 times 401. I think that was the number. And it came out to be like 29,700 or 273 posts or something like that. Let me pull up my calculator. Just give me a minute. It's 401 times 73. Yeah, it was 29,273 posts. And what's interesting is, like I said, again, it's a young site, but give it a few more weeks. I suspected that this would actually perform pretty well because it's so thorough and covering every freaking tree service keyword you could possibly imagine in one county. I mean, 29,000 posts covering one county, that's insane. But again, it could be a complete dud. It might not perform at all. I don't know. Only time will tell. But like I said, I want to continue building out some additional structures with the ATM for local stuff to see if I can get them to perform better and find, the only way to find the real winners is to test, and I've done well with some national sites, so that's not the problem. The local sites is new to me, and so I'm going to keep experimenting with different build outs until I find hopefully a formula that works really well that I can duplicate over and over again. And of course I'll share that with you guys. Okay. This is what I consider research and development. And I like doing R&D work because it's interesting to me. It keeps it fun. It keeps it interesting to be able to change it up, switch things up. Once I find something that works, then I scale very, very quickly. And so that's what we'll talk about when I find that winning combination, of which we don't know yet. So yeah, no problem, Ganti. No problem. I realized you weren't around for the last few weeks. So if you guys have any other questions, it looks like it's just the two of you. I don't want to waste anybody's time. We've all got stuff we can do. We could be building additional sites. I could be planning for next week's training webinar by deciding on what I'm going to do for the build outs. So if you guys don't have any questions, we'll wrap it up early. I know this is short, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. The attendance has been incredibly low to these for the last few weeks. And so it's not a big deal. Hopefully everyone's building, but you know, these are really a Q&A webinar. If I have additional training that Brian wants me to cover, I do it. I got some case study stuff. I like sharing this information with you guys as I build them out. You know, because I can be the guinea pig. You guys just keep doing what you already know works for you, and I'll keep trying new stuff and sharing it with you. And when I find stuff that works, then you guys can benefit from my my testing, and that's fine. I enjoy that. So, but like I said, I'm not going to sit here and talk to the screen for the next 45 minutes if you guys don't have any other questions. So, can you alternate the national and local site builds? Yeah, sure, Ganti. I suppose I can. Yeah, I guess I can do that. I can't guarantee that I'll have both of those done by next week, but I can do that. Maybe by next week I'll have a couple local site builds done for the Ring partner stuff, and then maybe the following week I'll have some stuff done for the national builds. I know I got a couple affiliate projects I want to work on that I may make public. I'm not 100% sure yet, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the affiliate stuff. Because it's not affiliate types of keywords that people would be searching with a geographic modifier. In other words, it's not stuff that people would be searching with a city modifier as part of their search query. And so I'm not sure how to build those sites out yet. I haven't decided on how to do it yet. Once I figure out, once I come up with a plan, then I'm going to try, you know, building out a few different sites using different combinations of content and keywords and such to try to find out, you know, something that works, but haven't decided on how I'm going to build that yet, because I have been focusing on just the local for the last few weeks, but that is coming. So, you know, I know you're interested in that. I'll share that with you when I have the plan. So, all right. So besides that, yeah, guys, next week I'll have something done for the new Ring stuff. And in the following week, might be able to do some national stuff. Other than that, we'll share what's going on currently. Morning sections local, which I cannot come, and evening sections for the national, which I will present. Okay, I'll keep that note of that, Yanti. That's fine. Next week's the evening session. That's a morning session. So 2 weeks from now would be good. Okay. No worries. Hey man, if you attend, I'll do it. I'll, you know, try to accommodate you. If you're attending and other people aren't, I'll try to accommodate you. If people want to see something, they need to attend and tell me, and then I'll try to make it happen. So no worries. I'd be happy to help. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up then. Really get to work. Go build something. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for being here.